Hello, my name is Dr. Sarah Ronahan, and in my normal job I work as a consultant clinical psychologist with the Department of Pain Management. But some of you might also know that I'm also helping out with the emotional support service for staff. And today I'd really like to bust some myths. So myth number 1, strong people don't find life or this COVID situation difficult, or I must be inferior given that I'm struggling right now. Not true. We are all human, and difficulty is unfortunately part of life. Being able to acknowledge our difficulty to ourselves and possibly to others is an important step to building resilience and strength despite the difficulty. Myth number 2, everyone else is coping. Not necessarily. Ever been in a situation where you were nervous but others have said how confident you look? Ever been in a situation where you're feeling sad but others have said how happy or well you look? Many of us can put on a good front, and sometimes that's helpful even to ourselves. There's that phrase, fake it to make it. So I guess what I'm saying here is just because others look like they're coping, chances are they too have difficult times or days just like you. Myth number 3, healthcare workers should be able to get on with it, or it doesn't matter what's going on for me, I just have to cope all the time. Not quite. Clearly it is the case that we sometimes feel we have to just get on with it or cope, and indeed that's what our job asks of us. But we need to remember we are human too. We're human beings, not just human doings. Myth number 4, emotions and feelings are best ignored as they get in the way of focusing on the job, or staying in control is the right only way to cope. Not necessarily. Sometimes we do need to put our emotions and feelings to one side in order to do the job that's in front of us. But at some point we do need to address and acknowledge those emotions. Otherwise they have a tendency to spill out at times when we would rather they didn't, or they may keep us awake at night and affect our days off because we've ignored them. Myth number 5, my needs are just not relevant at present, or others have greater needs than mine right now. Not quite. Sometimes it's important to put others first. Again, it's what many of our jobs ask us to do, and perhaps that's also the case in our home lives. However, we do need to take care of our own needs as well. Otherwise, our ability to take care of others depletes. It's about balancing the needs of others with that of our own. And it's not being selfish. Taking care of our own needs doesn't come easily to folk in this country, but it's something we need to get better at. And indeed, if it was a friend, you'd probably be the first person to say they need to take care of themselves. So perhaps we need to take our own advice. Myth number 6, it's my job, so I should be able to do it perfectly. Not quite the case. Many of us want to strive for perfection and a job well done. And of course, this is encouraged by others, by our managers. However, as most of us know from experience, perfection is extremely hard to achieve, let alone sustain. And so it's important that we allow ourselves to be kind to ourselves and others when things don't go according to plan. It's important that we own up to our mistakes and our humanity, but giving ourselves a hard time may not be the best way forward. Myth number 7, keeping my emotions to myself is the right thing to do. Not necessarily. Of course, there will be times that you want to keep your emotions private, depending on where you are, what you're doing, and indeed who you are with. However, acknowledging our emotions to someone we trust can be really helpful in helping you feel not so alone. And you may be surprised to find out that others feel the same as you. And remember, others also might feel reassured that they're not alone either. Myth number 8, there's no time to look after myself. True and not true. With so much going on, it can feel like there's no time to take care of yourself. And of course, that's probably true. However, taking care of yourself can be about the small things. For example, taking some deep breaths, even whilst you're on the loo. Noticing that your shoulders are tense, and by noticing that, trying to even temporarily releasing even just a little bit of tension can be helpful. Developing a kindly attitude to ourselves doesn't take a long time out of your day. Just a couple of minutes on a regular basis can be so powerful, and I've done a short video of a self-compassion exercise which you might find helpful. Myth number 9. I'm not on the front line, so I shouldn't be struggling. Not true. COVID-19 has added stress to all of our lives, no matter what job we do or even if we're shielding at home. Our lives have changed, our routines altered, and the coping strategies we would normally go to, such as the cinema, gym, out with friends, have been removed or restricted. COVID-19 has also meant that the practical support we may normally receive from friends and family have also been affected. So the increase in stress with the absence of the ways we'd normally cope has led to many people to struggle. And this is perfectly reasonable, and therefore it's understandable that we may need to ask for some help.